Well, hello, my friends. Sorry it's been so long, but welcome back to the top 10 things that you should have in your backpack if you're going to go to the Rocky Mountains. Well, you can see a little bit of the mountains behind me there, actually. It's a gorgeous day out here, but you can see there's snow everywhere. So, fire was number one on our list. And again, just to recap, make sure you carry 2 or 3 different forms of fire starting if you're going to go out. Okay, so number 2 on our list, as a must to have in your backpack or sling pack or day pack or fanny pack for that matter, is a knife. Now, what I talked about was having a couple of knives on hand. Now, I recommend for sure, if you're going to take one knife along, make sure that it's a fixed blade. Now, that means that the blade follows the whole length of the tang here and goes right underneath the handle. It's one piece and extremely strong. This one is actually quite thick. It's probably 3/16 thick. It's a really heavy duty knife. I really like this one. Now, this is good for hacking through logs. You could put a spear, make a spear out of this, no problem at all. Here's a thinner version. Nice little blade though. It should have a full tang going through it though. As we can't see it, it's got that rubber handle on it, but fairly strong as well. It's a little bit thinner, but still a decent knife. So I have 2 fixed blades on this particular setup here. It's a nice hip pack, but it's got the over-the-shoulder harness too, if I'm carrying anything a bit heavier. Now, the first knife is this one. It's a very small, very agile little blade, almost like a Skinner, but not quite. But it's really nice. It's a really lightweight, full tang again, really good to have. Now, on the counter part of this, I actually am using this big one here. Well, you can see how big that is. It's almost to the machete. It's a foot long, and it's really heavy duty. I love carrying this thing around. Despite the weight, it really hacks through logs really well. In fact, this is the second one. I do have one that I absolutely abused. This is actually number 2. You probably have your own brand or whatever. You can see there's a number of different brands here. Again, just make sure that it's a nice sturdy knife. This one's got a nice rubber handle on it. This particular one I have on a sling. It sort of goes right onto the front. So this strap goes right onto my chest. The pack's obviously a sling pack, but it's a very quick draw if I need to get that knife out quick. Another recommendation, but we'll talk about that later. So there's my fixed blades. Okay, I want to talk about the survival knife. Now, these are the hollow handled ones. These were absolutely huge in the 80s, these survival knives. Of course, the Rambo movie came out. He had some suture inside the back. You can put matches in there. They keep nice and dry if you got matches in there. This one here is actually a replica of the Ayator Jungle King, and it was really big in the 80s. In fact, I have an original that I have strapped to another pack actually. Good sized blade on it. Obviously the hollow handle, like I said, is good for holding those matches. It actually works not bad as a hammer too, and they're actually quite strong. They've got a pin holding the blade in, so the blade will actually have come up to about here, so it's obviously not a full tang. Now, this sheath is cool too though. It's got a slingshot in it. It's got paracord on it for those emergencies. Underneath here, I think there's a whetstone. It's got a small little knife in it for a little spear, and that's where your slingshot rubber is too. Actually, it's really great. These are one of my favorites actually to carry around. Like I said, I carry the original around on one of my other packs. Now, here's another sort of offshoot. This is another brand. It's a bigger knife. It's a decent size though, and it's decent for hacking. Actually, I haven't taken this one out, but the tang would be the same. It would come up to about here, and then it's got this, this one's actually got a bolt holding it in instead of a pin. Now, these are really great actually to have around too. I recommend those as well. Okay, let's talk about your second knife. Now, this can be your first if you just want to throw it in your pocket, but I I recommend actually having something a bit stronger. Now this is part of the set, so this one here, it's a good little set to have. You got your fixed blade and your folding knife all in one set here. So you just strap that onto your belt or on your pack and you're good to go. You've got both best of both worlds here. So this little one here, it's good for those little tasks, just shaving down wood, feathering some wood for the fire starter, and it's really well controlled. And then you got the larger one for maybe a little bit of hacking. I don't recommend just carrying this. Just in case you have to make a spear out of it, you really got to sort of put some torque onto this thing. This joint in here can actually break. I've broken quite a few of them, in fact. But again, this is just a really cool tool to have. Great to throw in your pocket, clip to your belt. Perfect. Now here's one I found, a Swiss Army knife. These are always good to have too. These are great. They don't lock typically. The blades, so be careful with that, but they're very convenient. They're very light. You can throw them in your pocket. This one, like I said, I found this one metal detecting, so it's a bit beat up here. It's missing its corkscrew, which we don't need an emergency situation anyways, but good to have. Let's talk about the multi-tool just for a second. This one here, this is a Gerber. It's a great little multi-tool actually. This is actually brand new. I've been using my Leatherman, which is a fantastic brand as well. They get a little bit more expensive as you get into these brands, but I'm telling you, they're worth it. This pin here actually can break, and I've broken a couple of these Gerbers when they came out 30 years ago. They sent me replacements right away, but the metal has, and the technology has certainly increased and improved since that time. Now this little one here, I found this one actually metal detecting. You can see a little bit of rust on it. Someone had dropped it out of their pouch. Again, a good reason to keep two of these because people do lose them. This one here, stainless steel, claims to be, the pins may not be, but still it's got a knife in it, little punching screwdrivers, so this is a really good tool to have around. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate that. Well, that's number 2 on our list of the top 10 things you need to take into the Rocky Mountains if you're going to go. I'm going to reiterate that I don't care what you're going back into the bush for. Hiking, camping, adventuring, metal detecting, magnet fishing even, treasure hunting, I don't care what it is. You really need to take these things along with you. The weather can change, even if you're only a couple miles in. That's a long ways if you get injured or get caught in the weather. So this is number 2 on our list. Knives. Number 1 was fire, the ability to create fire. We're going to put all these things together once I finish this top 10 list, and we're going to test them all out in these winter conditions here. Now, showed you some brands today. If you have any questions about brands, please contact my friend Roland down at Target Knives and Survival. He's got a wealth of knowledge. He's been in the business for a long time. Got some great brands actually down there. Such a stock of knives, just really impressive. So check it out. I think he's online as well, but he's just off McLeod Trail for those who are in Calgary here. Thanks again for joining me, and join me next time for number 3 on our top 10 list. Until then, don't leave home without this stuff.